So we're gonna open up to your questions. Before we jump in, though, I have one last one, which is, what about Bishop? Like, does he come back?
We might see Bishop again. I mean, you have to remember, we have 200 years of history being that guy, so you never know when he just kind of shows up. And Mark Pellegrino is just, I mean, he's tremendous, that guy.
Yeah,
he's fun.
I'm super excited for a couple of things that we've done.
Yeah.
Mark has been back in a small capacity this year, and it's just been so awesome.
So much stuff.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to your questions. We have mics, so.
Savers, you don't get to ask questions. I'm sorry.
The question is, how are you feeling after that roller coaster?
We were all talking about that this morning.
A little jostled?
Yeah. We're thinking, like, is there a study that's been taken of, like, long-term effects of
I feel like I have
consistent,
I can tell you this, your personality has changed fundamentally.
Yeah, you can't tell. Yeah, but everybody else can see it.
Yeah,
you are different.
It's like Phineas Gage, you got the railroad spikers going, turn into a different person, and that's you. That's you.
I feel different.
Yeah.
But my real question is, how important is it to explore the origins of the actual, not your characters, but the creatures? I mean, would we ever see, like, the beginning of the vampire race, or, like, the very first werewolf, or, like, you know, or really, really old ghost? Like, is that important, or is it more about just being in the now in a recent past?
In the vampire story, we do go into those directions, and you know, so it gets a little out there, you know. I mean, the challenge is to make that as human as possible. Because, you know, with this show, say we're lucky enough to go several seasons, the gimme is just having people deal with humanity, and you can do that, and that's our show. But we do attempt to go off into this, into a little bit more of an old school vampire direction. And we hope you like it.
I think the show plays the best when it is grounded in some sort of reality. I think the Aiden plotline this year is something that's amazingly cool and going to be super fun to watch. But to be honest, my favorite stuff is when we're all just together.
Yeah.
You know, being normal with our afflictions.
Which, as this season continues,
yeah,
we find that these people crash together,
yeah,
and suddenly have to deal with each other in very meaningful ways.
Thanks, over here. Oh.
Hello.
And as promised, here's my political question of the day.
No, we talked about this. I was begging you.
Don't do this. Don't do this. You don't have to do this.
And actually, my serious question is, what's the most memorable moment that you guys have experienced while filming this show?
I don't remember.
I can't answer the political question.
Do you mean the three of us together?
Together or separately?
Well, these guys are the reason to come to work, basically, for me, you know. I'm not a morning person, so every morning I'm like, ugh, and then if I see them, then I
think you, although that is with the disclaimer of, I think you would, if you could, sleep 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Whitwer sleeps everywhere.
Literally, he's like, oh God, you know what, I'm going to go back to sleep. So it's 5 p.m.
It's 5 p.m. Well, I start waking up in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
that's when I'm okay.
That's right.
To send your emails.
I've been typecast. I'm a night person.
Yeah. Most memorable, I'm really trying to think of like one.
Yeah. I'll say, for me, it was, I mean, I always say this, but this was one of my favorite moments. This is in episode 2 of the first season, when we did the sort of that fantasy sequence where Sally's flying down the stairs. That, to me, was so special, and it was right at the beginning of our shoot, and it was really a moment with me and the crew and our directors and writers, and it was really
yeah,
nice.
Which is weird because it didn't play.
Yeah, it didn't work.
It didn't work. You watch the episode, you're like, oh God, this is boring.
Yeah, what she does is fine.
Yeah, it's
weird. I didn't know she could do that.
It's just a little.
Well, it meant a lot to me.
It's a little childish.
Yeah, Peter Pan now all of a sudden. Yeah. But you know, aside from working with these two jokers, when we had Mark back this year, because he's one of the architects of the show. He's one of the guys that built the show with us. So when we had him back, I felt like that was some of my best stuff this year. You know, I really felt like we were on fire and doing some really cool stuff that was, by the way, different than what we've seen from those two characters.
Right. Very different.
There's Mark is so good that there's very little that he has to say to me to get under my skin as an actor, and we just, you know, go back and forth. And then between days we were working, we were just hanging out at my place playing Left 4 Dead together.
Yeah.
Which is fun.
Just a couple of dudes.
Yes, dudes.
Just getting,
Shirtless.
Just, no, you take your shirt off.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course.
Yeah.
Come on in.
Yeah.
Take your shirt off. Don't be weird about it.
Don't make this weird.
Don't make this weird.
for
Here,
me.
take the Xbox controller. Now sit closer.
Right.
Take your shirt off.
Exactly. If you're not going to take your shirt off, get out.
Your feet look so tense. Let me rub those for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I had a moment actually this year with Nora that I think it's in episode 3 this coming season. So I actually really can't talk too much about it, but it's very emotional and hits really close to home for me. And
Which one? All the stuff with you and Nora has been awesome.
yeah, I'm very happy with all that stuff this year, to be honest. But there's one scene in particular that I think it's going to be a very difficult scene for people to watch, especially people who have gone through what we're going through, because it's a very human thing. So anyway, like that.
I think we have time for one more. Over here.
Hey guys, absolutely loving the show.
I absolutely love you.
Yeah.
So the thing I wanted to ask is how much of the effects are like makeup and digital? I mean, like the black eyes and stuff, do you have to wear contact lenses? And flying down the stairs, do they have you on a cable, or is that kind of done later digitally?
Well, for me, anything with flying and levitation is they make a body cast for me. So when I was on my stomach flying down, it was in front. What?
Because she would walk on stage and go, "Hey guys, look at my body cast."
Is
And she's wearing her body.
She's
She's
strapped
walking
into
like
the body
this,
cast.
and she's got this pole coming out of her.
Oh yeah, so yeah, there's a pole coming out of my stomach, and you know, 2 or 3 large men just pretty much tip me over and impale me on this giant stake that's sticking out of a
The
green
magic
studio.
of movie making.
Normal
It's
day
all
at
very
work.
glamorous.
Really normal day at work.
The eyes and the fangs are you wear them. They're contacts and fangs. I have a very easy job. You don't. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, what I was going to say is it's like 50-50, right? So like with it's half practical, and the practical side of it enables you to fill in the blanks with CG. So it's like Meaghan's bedpan or Witwer's fangs and eyes, like So I'm going to call it bedpan. The CG will make his eyes snap black. But then from that point on, he's wearing the contacts. Yeah. The fangs grow as CG, obviously, but then...
Unless we're doing a fight scene 3 feet away from a 30-foot drop, which we did.
Right.
With no railing or anything.
Right.
Okay, sure, let's shoot it. I mean...
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we did.
It was the last shot of the day.
Yeah, it was, and what made it safer was it was at 4 a.m.
And really tired, too.
Really tired, yeah.
My stuff is a lot of practical, physical makeup effects. Which is both fun and exhausting, and it's in stages. So in between the stages, there's computer-generated stuff that kind of takes you in between, fills in the blanks. It's like really like right down the middle, 50-50. I would say.
Okay, these guys are going to be right down here for the next 10 minutes or so, and if you want to have any questions for them, otherwise,
Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much.